The United States has lost at least 45 MQ-9 Reaper drones during its war with Iran, a loss equivalent to roughly 1/4 of the U.S. military's entire Reaper fleet. That is according to the Washington Post, which cited 3 U.S. officials familiar with the losses. The reported figure represents a major blow to one of America's most important surveillance and strike platforms. Before the war began on February 28th, the U.S. military had around 185 MQ-9 Reapers, approximately 165 operated by the Air Force and another 20 by the Marine Corps. None of the Marine Corps Reapers were reportedly lost. The vast majority of the losses involved Air Force aircraft operating in the Middle East. Several Reapers were reportedly shot down while operating around the Strait of Hormuz, where U.S. forces have faced intense Iranian military activity. But not every aircraft was destroyed by enemy fire. According to a U.S. official cited by the Washington Post, some Reapers crashed after losing communications links between the aircraft and their operators. That distinction is important because the reported 45 losses do not necessarily mean that all 45 were successfully intercepted by Iranian air defenses. Still, the scale of the losses is significant. A single MQ-9 Reaper can cost between roughly $30 and $50 million, depending on its configuration, sensors, and weapons. At those figures, the reported losses represent a potential cost of more than $1.3 billion for the aircraft alone. And the financial cost is only one part of the problem. The Reaper has been heavily relied upon by U.S. forces for intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and precision strikes. During the Iran war, these aircraft have been particularly important for monitoring Iranian military activity and supporting operations across the region. But operating them over or near heavily defended areas has come with a steep price. U.S. officials have reportedly been surprised by the precision of some of the attacks against the drones. The Strait of Hormuz has emerged as one of the most dangerous operating areas. The narrow waterway is a critical route for global energy supplies, and the U.S. has deployed substantial military assets around it as the conflict has continued. The loss of dozens of Reapers now highlights the growing difficulty of operating relatively large and expensive unmanned aircraft in an environment where sophisticated air defense systems remain active. And the drone losses are happening alongside a much broader problem for the U.S. military. American weapon stocks have also come under pressure during the conflict. The Pentagon has recently pushed defense contractors to accelerate production of critical weapons and replenish depleted inventories. The Associated Press reported this week that U.S. officials are concerned about shortages of key munitions, including expensive missile interceptors such as Patriot and THAAD. That means the Reaper losses are not happening in isolation. The United States is simultaneously burning through drones, interceptors, and precision weapons while continuing to conduct operations across a major combat theater. And replacing these systems is not something that can necessarily happen overnight. The Pentagon is now pressing defense companies to increase production and shorten timelines for replacing critical weapons. But rebuilding sophisticated military inventories can take months or even years. The Reaper losses also raise another question for U.S. planners. How sustainable is the use of expensive drones in heavily contested airspace? The MQ-9 was designed to provide long-endurance surveillance and strike capability without putting a pilot inside the aircraft. That advantage remains. But when an adversary has increasingly capable air defense systems, the cost equation changes dramatically. Losing one unmanned aircraft does not mean losing a pilot. But losing dozens of aircraft can still reduce surveillance capacity, consume replacement stocks, and force commanders to reconsider where and how these systems are deployed. The latest figures also show how dramatically the Iran war has changed the operating environment for American drones. Earlier in the conflict, U.S. officials had already acknowledged a growing number of Reaper losses. The figure has now climbed to at least 45, according to the latest Washington Post reporting. And the Pentagon has not publicly confirmed the full number. The Department of Defense declined to comment on the reported losses. So there are still unanswered questions over exactly how many aircraft were shot down, how many were lost because of communications failures, and how many may have been destroyed in other circumstances. But the headline figure is already striking. 45 Reapers lost. Roughly 25% of the U.S. fleet gone during one war, and potentially more than $1.3 billion in aircraft losses. For Washington, this is no longer simply a story about drones being shot down. It is becoming another measure of the military cost of the Iran war, and another challenge for the Pentagon as it tries to keep American weapons and surveillance capabilities available for a conflict that continues to consume them.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.